This video will address the importance of stretching, especially when you work out on a regular basis. During my first year I put way too few stretching exercises into my schedule because I found that it is really boring and really hard to stick to. But after a year, the consequences of not stretching had changed my mind. Firstly, because I decided to train for the handstand, and now I realized that I did not have enough mobility in my shoulders, and because of that it took a lot of strength to just get into the handstand position. And even there I could not really open up my shoulders and get in a straight line. At that point I had to work on my mobility, but I found that it takes a lot of time to fix. I worked quite some time now on this problem and my mobility is improving, but it is still not good enough to comfortably get into the right position. This really makes it hard to stick to your stretching routine because it feels like it will take forever and progress is slow. That's why I skip my stretching routines a lot. But now I am consistently stretching at least 4 times a week, mainly because my upper back started to hurt, especially my neck and the area between my shoulder blades. This is the second reason that persuaded me to stretch. This pain was a consequence of working out a lot without stretching, and it felt so uncomfortable that it really changed my mind. But it is better to start stretching before you have to deal with these consequences. Also because it could lead to injury instead of just pain. And it will be really demotivating if you can't train for skills because of mobility issues. So that's why I made this stretching routine targeting mainly the upper body, with the first exercise being the butcher's block. This is one of my favorites. You can do this on an elevated surface or onto the ground. The butcher's block will open your chest and shoulders and will also stretch the lats and triceps. When your chest, shoulders and lats are tight, they will pull your shoulders down and forward. Mostly this happens because the anterior muscles are used more than the posterior muscles, and that's why they will tighten faster. By opening them up, your upper body won't be pulled forward as much and will give more space to reach overhead. The next 2 exercises will further stretch the chest and shoulders. This one I like to do on a foam roller. It specifies on building range overhead, and by holding a weight you can let gravity do the work for you. Just hold the weight while trying to keep a posterior pelvic tilt and slowly let the weight lower your arms overhead. You can either hold this or do this for reps. If you do this for reps, you can build a bit more strength in this flexed position. The foam roller will help by massaging the upper back, releasing the pressure built up in tight knots. On top of this exercise, you can also try this to get in an even more stretched position. If you have an object behind you, like this table, you can climb your way down and therefore work a greater range. The reverse plank will focus more on opening the anterior muscles and stimulating the posterior muscles. This exercise provides a good stretch of the abs and the chest while using the posterior deltoid. The posterior deltoid is often neglected in comparison to the anterior deltoid. Stimulating them a lot will reduce the difference and will help you with keeping a good posture. This exercise will fire up the traps, which are also often neglected, and it will help you understand the muscle engagement in the handstand. Keep a posterior pelvic tilt and put your arms at shoulder width and as far from your head as you are able to. Then push with your fingertips. This will elevate your shoulders and will fire up the traps. It helps keeping the muscles used in the handstand healthy, and it will build your handstand coordination. To build solid mobility, just passive stretching is not enough. When doing only passive stretching, the muscles will not build strength in the whole flex position, and that's why they will tighten up again. To keep a greater mobility, you should also work on active stretches. These will build your strength throughout the whole range of motion, so your body stays more flexible. I like doing passive stretches first and then work on active stretches. So you first make the muscles more loose and then you start to work on the strength in a more loose position. An example of an active shoulder stretch is this. You can hold a parallel or a stick or something and you try to lift it above your head as far as you can, while keeping a posterior pelvic tilt. Keep improving on this, and you can also switch between reps and holds. Another great exercise which will specifically help you with your overhead mobility is the pike scapula elevations. This will mimic the handstand position and focuses on the movement of the shoulder blades. This will build strength in your overhead position, and that's why it will help you improving your overhead mobility. Also, this will better connect your mind to the muscles responsible for moving your scapula, so you can understand how to move it correctly in your handstands. Next to the muscles, the thoracic spine is also an important element. The T-spine can also get tight, but it can also get more flexible. That's why one of my goals is to being able to do the bridge, even though I am far from close. In combination with the previous exercises, I like to do these 2 exercises as well. With the first one you twist your upper body, while also stretching your glutes. The second exercise also helps you get more flexible in rotating your back. I have done this routine for some time now, and the pain in my back vanished. I feel a lot healthier and have a bit more mobility now, but I still have a lot to do. Like and subscribe if you found this video helpful, and if you want to check out my Instagram and TikTok, I put a link in the description. I hope you will stick to your stretching, and I'll see you in the next video.